Water is the single most important thing to the human race. It is beauty, power, creation, and destruction. The surface of the earth is 70% covered in water, but just a little over 0.5% of that water is made up of groundwater, and less than 0.02% is made up of lakes and streams. For centuries, humans have built some of the strongest empires and civilizations alongside rivers. The Tiber River for Rome, the Nile River for Egypt, the Chaobai River for the Forbidden City in Beijing, China. It's clear to see that the more water a city has, the more powerful it can become, if those who take possession of it are willing to sacrifice nature for their own greed. Industrialization and engineering marvels changed what it means to create a livable society. Innovation for convenience rather than protection of nature are decisions made by desperate environmentalists to appease the masses. Hi, my name is Mikael Sanchez. I'm a native to the Americas, specifically the Western region, and I would like to share some of the research that I have gathered on the water systems here in Southern California. However, the solutions I provide, I believe, are applicable across the globe and should be implemented in all cities. I'm here in Irvine, California because this city is considered one of the leaders in California as far as their water management system goes. Over 50 years ago, the Irvine Ranch Water District, or IRWD, was created in this planned city and now provides water for more than 370,000 residents. The IRWD is considered successful because of how they have diversified their water portfolio. Compared to other parts of Orange County, which rely 100% on water sources from outside of the area, Irvine has managed to create a water treatment plant that recycles rainwater and delivers 25% of the city's water needs. They utilize the Orange County groundwater basin using deep groundwater wells to gather another 48% of the city's needs, totaling 73% of the water used is sourced locally, giving its citizens great value and quality. Now here comes the issue that many cities are struggling with, especially here in Southern California. The remaining need for water is met by the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, or the MWD, which is sourced from the Colorado River via the Colorado River Aqueduct, and the State Water Project, also known as the California Aqueduct, which moves water 600 miles from Northern California. These combined provide the other 27% of the water. This is where things get tricky. Irvine is one of the best cities in Southern California for providing water to its people, so let's look at some of its neighbors. Compared to Irvine locally sourcing within its own county 73% of the water it uses, the city of Los Angeles sources only 14% of the water it uses locally, 12% from groundwater, and 2% from recycled water. To get the water where it needs to go, it uses 23 dams, 119 tanks and reservoirs, 9 ammoniation stations, 25 chlorination stations, 113 system pressure zones, 96 pump stations, and 7,337 miles of pipe, with only 23 billion gallons sourced locally. The total annual water usage for the city of Los Angeles is 167 billion gallons of water. Over half of the water provided to LA is from the Metropolitan Water District, which utilizes the Bay Delta and the Colorado River. The size of LA has made the city completely dependent on outside sources for water, and it is becoming a more scarce resource. I'm telling you about these water requirements because it's important to understand how this problem got so big before learning about the damage that it has caused to the environment. It's also the same reason that recommendations to solve this problem can't be shut down the aqueducts or open the dams because of how much innovation has taken place since these cities that weren't habitable a few hundred years ago started being populated over their natural capacities. Solutions now have to be focused on how to make those innovations focused on conservation of water. I'm not talking about high efficiency appliances. I'm talking about harvesting water and recycling plants, utilizing gray water on a citywide level, and creating incentives to get people on board. During the driest year recorded in Los Angeles, 2013, it rained 3.6 inches across the city. Obviously this is an estimate, but let's assume that it's close. Each inch of rain in the city of Los Angeles generates 3.8 billion gallons of runoff. So with a minimum of 3.6 inches, that accounts for over 13 billion gallons of water wasted annually, even on the driest years. Harvesting that alone would increase locally sourced water by almost 8%. Now the big one. Let's install new water treatment plants at the outlets of the city. Obviously not all water is able to be captured. Some evaporates, some gets absorbed into plants in the ground or is consumed. Sinks, toilets, showers, and other sources for gray water are basically dumped. Let's imagine new construction in California, for instance. There's a zero code which focuses on energy use, but there's nothing that focuses on or even encourages gray water drains because there's no separate infrastructures to remove that type of water from your home. Let's focus on residential water treatment for now. If we can implement an infrastructure to households in LA that gather gray water, and it managed to capture even half of the water that is used by households, that would be an additional 57 billion gallons sent to water treatment plants. That translates to an additional 33% of the annual need of water met by recycling. I don't plan on asking people to change how much water they use. It's a hard thing to do to understand that leaving the water on while you do your dishes, or taking an extra long hot shower after a hard day's work can be devastating to the environment and surrounding cultures that depend on that resource as well. But what I believe is a possibility for change is what they are able to do with the water that they use after they use it. I wouldn't expect to completely cut off the need for the outside water sources either. This system would need replenishment as well. But the less water required by outside systems could help replenish the wildlife that has been devastated by controlling that water flow in the first place. The infrastructure that's in place could also help to serve some of the injustices that have been done to other cultures that live further downstream. These cultures grew and flourished before their accessibility to this precious resource was severely diminished. And by giving them access to more water, they might be able to regain their livelihoods. And while the current system is not able to meet the needs of a regular society because the demand for water is too high, making it expensive and a non-renewable resource, this plan could help to mitigate some of the problems that we face by turning this linear system into a feedback loop to create a more regenerative society. Since people are already paying for water as a resource, a city's water district installing new water treatment plants could actually increase revenue by selling reclaimed and cleaned water back to their customers. This could be done by retrofitting public buildings like schools with collection systems, as well as offering tax credits for citizens who install their own water harvesting systems that connect back to the main infrastructure. Considering that these technologies have been around for over 50 years, it's clear to see that these technologies should be implemented in Southern California as well as across the globe. Now, this is just one possible solution to this crisis that we're facing in Southern California. However, I believe in tackling one problem at a time